Okay. At least I can see how horrible my hair looks now. For almost 30 minutes to 40 minutes earlier, I went on, and I wasn't sure if it was broadcasting, but I just insisted it was working, and it apparently wasn't working. So hi, this is Renee. And I just wanted to chat with anyone who's interested in chatting. I'm known to talk about pretty much anything. And I know I had posted on Twitter and to some people that were in my circles. So I'm here now if you want to chat. So I guess I'll just start over from where I was earlier, and I'm just gonna I'll just give an idea of where I am and what I'm doing right now until we can get some people in here who maybe want to ask questions or throw out some topics. Okay, so I was traveling around for about 9 months trying to figure out where I wanted to start over in my life. I'm divorced, and I chose an undisclosed location for those who don't know me well. The rest of you will know where I am. So I decided that I wanted to be in this place because it's very welcoming, very friendly, very liberal, and open to different things that I've kind of started to enjoy, things I like to talk about, and just hang out. It's just very laid back West Coast. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. And I am here now looking for a job and a car and a place to live. And I guess I just kind of dropped myself into this little spot, and I'm just looking for everything. And luckily some people that I have met up with are very, like I said, welcoming and friendly, and they've allowed me to stay here for the moment. I did get a couple of little side jobs. One of them is kind of funny because it was very intense. I took training, and I was able to pass the food handler exam. So I have that certificate. Anyone who needs me to work at a restaurant somewhere around town, you can message me. And then so I have that job, and there's nowhere for me to work. It's kind of funny and sad because I want to work. So I would be passing out samples in stores. You've seen those people. I'm one of them. But the location where I am is kind of smaller, and they don't have a lot of events for me to go to. They even called me and said, "Where are you now?" We don't see anything like way up into October. I was like, oh, no, I need to work. But I did get paid for training. Yay. And then there's another job I just started that's with someone who designs clothes, and she's really sweet. And so I'm going to do some sewing for her, and, some organizing and different things. So I'm started. I'm still looking for work at home, though, because honestly, I would still like to travel, and it would be nice to be able to do that in this van that I found. It's amazing. It looks so cute. It's a VW Vanagon, and it's yellow. And my brother, I was telling him about it, and he's like, "That sounds like you." I think that was a compliment. But yeah, so I'm really excited, and I would like to be able to get that van. So I'm taking donations. Donate through my Twitter. So yeah, like I said, anyone interested in chatting, this should be a message box here. You can write me. I'm just gonna start talking, and I don't mind if you interrupt with the actual topic. I'll just do my thing, and then get too lost hitting buttons here. Where'd it go? So yeah. So I've been trying to meet people. So I've gone to various meetups. When I was down in Seattle, I went to a dream meetup, and I didn't know it was going to cost me any money. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to go with it. It was really kind of cool. We met in a bookstore, and we told our dreams, and then each of the other people would give their thoughts on the dream, how they would have felt or this or that, and it was kind of cool. So I didn't have a recent dream at the time that I could think of, and so I have an older one that I always remember from several years ago, and it was one where in the dream there was a snake on my grandmother's dresser that was like pushing things around and on the floor, and it woke her up. And so I told that dream, and at the end, when they were after they gave me their responses, I said, I feel like I cheated because it actually ended up being something that had happened, like a vision. And I didn't realize it at the time. It was like, oh, was this strange dream happened? And I must have, and I was trying to figure out how I told someone about it, because the event happened and I didn't know it had happened. And so I must have mentioned to someone about my dream. And so they said, oh, that happened. Or no, that couldn't have happened, because the response that I had was, oh, I knew it happened because I dreamed about it. They just said that the event had happened. and so I told the group that I feel like I cheated because in a way it was a vision as well as a dream. And so her response, because in the dream I was watching it happen, she said, perhaps when I dream, to remember this, when I'm observing things happen, they might be visions. And so I thought, that's pretty cool. That's something I can remember. And in the same vein as speaking of dreams, one of the people who responded to my tweet was into lucid dreaming. I guess he has a lucid dreaming site. And I feel like lucid dreaming is cheating. Now, I don't particularly think I've had lucid dreams. Maybe one kind of half where I realized I was dreaming. But I don't know. I just feel like a dream is kind of magical, like it's your soul talking to you, or your unconscious. Unconscious? How do you say that? Your unconscious? Anyway, that it's somehow speaking to you when you're dreaming. It's telling you something, or warning you, or just relating to you in like a conversation in pictures, or a movement in actions. It's like another reality. And so I guess I feel like lucid dreaming is like humanity trying to manipulate this one magical thing that we have. Just enjoy your dream. That's just my opinion, and my opinion can change, but that's the way I kind of feel about it. Every time I hear that word, I think it's cheating. So, but yeah, dreams have been very enlightening to me. I don't pay attention to them a lot, even though I used to. I have one of those people that have dream journals, and I feel like they can be important. But I guess for me, it's like when I'm looking for an answer, I pay attention. When I'm not, it's just like, oh, okay, that happened. But I also kind of feel that it's another reality. And then I guess in my case, I turn it on and turn it off. But I probably shouldn't. I feel like when you're awake, you could still be in the dream. I'm one of those people that kind of believes that. But what is it? What is it in the dream? Is that, I get the sub and the on mixed up. Subconscious and the unconscious. Gosh, I can say that word. I know I can. You think about when you're knocked out and you're like dead to the world, right? Yeah, now I feel like I need to look that up. So yeah, I've always been fascinated by dreams, and over the years, especially since I've been such a supernatural convention fan goer, attender, I've had a lot of dreams about the guys, but I relate that to the fact that I wrote so much fan fiction. And so I guess in a way I started ignoring those kind of dreams. I've had dreams about Ian Somerhalder and Halle Berry. It's so funny. The dream that I had about Halle Berry was something that happened before I found out she was breaking up with Gabriel. And it was like a couple of days before that before I heard about it, that I had had the dream. Because I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to her. I mean, you know. And so in the dream, I remember some of it is that I was meeting up with her and Gabriel, and they had been babysitting my child, this little child, young, like a 2 or 3, or maybe as old as 4. And so we met up for me to get my baby back. Strange dream, right? And then, so when I heard about what happened with her, I thought, interesting, maybe her baby, or my baby, was somehow her relationship, that she was just giving it away. That was my initial reaction to it in relation to the fact that I had dreamed about her. And admittedly, like in a situation with like celebrities, sometimes I'll see them somewhere and just like, oh, okay, and not pay a lot of attention to it. And then they're like, next thing you know, they're in my dream. So what does that mean? Anyone who might be listening, what does that mean? So anyway, as far as meanings though, even in the dream group, they were saying it's really going to be in relation to the person that is the dreamer. It's not so much about what's in a book. What does yellow mean? What does red mean? What does a car mean? What does a door mean? You know, it's all going to be related to the person's reality, what they're doing and what they're involved in and who they are. That's what I think as far as dreams. So, oh, a few nights ago, I'm not sure if I should really share this. Okay, there's a way of thinking. Some people say that there is no space. There is the illusion of space, like this room is very spacious. I mean, it's very clean and very spacious. There's places to put things, and you know, it's not cluttered, right? But so there's a train of thought that there literally is no space. Like every inch of this room is really filled with something. It's just something we can't see. So the train of thought is that we live in the space between. Interesting, right? So every now and then, usually when it's like a dark room, I take my glasses off and it's like the room is full. You know how you have the white noise of the television? This is like dark noise, and it's just like full of movement, like this, like the dots are moving. The whole room is like vibrating. Do not come and pick me up with the coats. The white coat men, stay away. But I know, it's so weird. It's like, it's so weird. And if I thought about it, I would probably lose my mind. Seriously. Because I've gotten used to it. But if you have glasses, before you go to bed at night, in the dark room, someone else has had a conversation with me about this too. In the dark room, take off your glasses and feel the darkness. Boo. No, it's crazy though, right? Yeah. So I kind of believe in that whole there's no space. I believe it. So yeah, sharing my secrets on the interwebs. So I'm not seeing that I have any viewers, so I guess I'm gonna have to share this on the channel. But I'm willing to keep on going. Maybe someone will pass by. Looks like there was someone earlier. I like talking about the subconscious and the unconscious. And I was even going to create a class on Udemy. Is it Udemy? U-E-D-M-Y? U-D-E-M-Y? Because I was really fascinated with the, there's a group called the Destiny Group. And the group itself, but there's a bunch of videos they posted, like 130 something videos, starting with the beginning of the planet. Terra Sol 3, we call it Earth. And what they did is there was a person who was, they don't call it channeling, but anyway, she was a girl, but how do you say, the person that was talking was obviously male. His name was Jack. And I'm not even sure how I found this video. It's been like a couple of years now, I think. But I watched most of the videos, and they were very enlightening to me. I felt like they were real, like they made sense, and they filled in a lot of gaps and things that I'd heard and that I believed. And so I was really into it. I mean, literally, they started with in the beginning of the planet. And they give information about how, you've probably heard about the Anunnaki, how they supposedly came and they had the encounter with the Atlanteans, who lived in a multi-dimensional realm. And the Anunnaki also were multi-dimensional. That's just how they were able to meet up and converse. And so they came and they were supposedly looking for gold, and not the gold that we have, not like gold bars, but it's more of a mineral or something. It's like, it's not the same. So they start there, like at the beginning. And then, they go and they talk about how the Anunnaki overwhelmed the Atlanteans and how we are all the souls. We could all be the souls of the Atlanteans. Because the soul does not die, only the physical body is going to be what would die. And yeah, so that's really, I found that very interesting that they would go that far back. And then they just go all the way forward to, like, how it happened, and how the Anunnaki and the Atlanteans and the Syrians and all these various cultures or races, whatever you want to call them, how they were our creators. And so I was just really fascinated by all of this, I mean, for any being to have that kind of information, I mean, I was hooked. And so I watched, like, I mean, they were like 8 to 10 minutes a piece. So I watched probably 50 the first night, and then I was just like, like Lay's potato chips. I was just really, really into it. And, a lot of it resonated with me. So it was really cool. Well, after I had listened to them, and I, was telling people about them, and then I was all ready to do this class. And then it hit me where and why the information sounded familiar. Well, it was like a couple of years ago that I ran across the Wingmaker information. And I started going through that again. And it was like, oh, this is where I heard it from. Some of the information coincides with the wing makers, and the wing makers were and I guess are our future selves, and they had supposedly come to the planet to warn us of what not to do. And so you could kind of see how it didn't quite mesh, or how I would not originally have put it together. And so, so the wing makers came to tell us to basically avoid transhumanism, you know, which is like the AI being intermingled with humans, because apparently it has a bad result. And so that was their bottom line. But on the way to the bottom line, it was a reminder to stay in the moment and be in your, you know, to breathe, to relax, no fear, no stress. And in the videos, that's the same bottom line. I mean, the history is awesome. You know, it's kind of cool to know, or to even think that there's a different history than we've been told. Because, I mean, come on, people. A lot of what we've known is lies, lies, lies. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. Okay, so what I was going to do was I was going to blend in the wingmaker information with the destiny information, because, you know, there were things that were not exactly the same. Well, just about the time I was going to do the class, I thought, let's do a search. And so I searched to see, I don't know, it was just like a random thing. If anyone thought that perhaps one group borrowed heavily from the other, and I ran into someone that was like really, really believing that there was a problem there, like that the Destiny group had taken the wingmaker information to make it their own. And I was like, oh no, I really wanted to share that. It was so cool. But apparently it had already been shared in one way. But in my mind, the way it was presented was so different that I could not imagine that, unless you're really looking, that you would put it together. I mean, of course, a lot of people are really very much into this type of thing right now. But I don't know, they seem like such different birds, you know, like they would never meet. But apparently they have, and some people think maybe they met in a way that was not appropriate. So I stepped back from doing the class. Sometimes I think, well, I don't know, I could go either way. If I had time, I might consider it. I like the, I'm hearing noises now. When I'm doing video, sometimes I hear weird noises. Listen. Anyway, so yeah, I was really fascinated by all the things. One of the things that I remember from the videos was that it was about psychics. And in the videos, they talk about how, you ever notice how psychics only give you good news? I was like, yeah, it's always kind of encouraging, you know. And then in the video, it said, well, a psychic can only grab information if they're good, even if even if they're just good or good enough to actually have skill. They kind of just grab what's right here from what you're thinking. They're going to grab that to give you your reading. And I thought, that's interesting. And so I've always kind of wanted to try that. I wanted to go to a psychic and just totally mask what I'm thinking. And so I had a chance to do that. I don't even know how this happened, but I was in a conversation with someone, I think I must have signed up for a free reading because I was going to do this. So they called me, and what I did is I blocked what I was thinking. And I just like totally took it to in my brain, I went to a whole different place. And I just let them, give me whatever they wanted to give me as the reading. And it's funny because God, I hadn't even thought about that since I did it. That's got to have been at least a couple of years ago. And so what she ended up telling me was very interesting. It had nothing to do with what I was thinking about, but it was random. And it was about my father-in-law. And it's so weird. I can't remember anything in details. It just coming to me now that it was about my father-in-law and something to do with his history or something. I don't know if I told my husband. Maybe I told him right away, or maybe I didn't tell him because he isn't into psychics. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that I actually went to the point to where I wanted to test the theory. Because, some of the things they said, they were things that you could kind of prove yourself, The part about, oh my gosh, I feel like I really need a tissue. Well, hold on. I gotta get a tissue. Okay, sorry about that. It's like, it started yesterday, but anyway. So yeah, that was something that I could test, and I kind of felt like, that's interesting. I've always thought that I would probably do that if I was getting, if I was going to get hypnotized, I would have to take someone with me that I trusted, first of all. And not that I wouldn't trust my hypnotherapist, but I think if a person was there, I would feel more grounded. Someone that I trusted enough to take with me. But anyway, so yeah, that was something that I felt like I could kind of prove. And then, I don't know, I recommend the video set. It's called The History of Mankind by the Destiny Group, DESTENI. And if you look up the group, they have really bad reputations, so just ignore that. It happens. Sometimes groups with the worst reputations end up being the best groups, right? So anyway, and as far as the wing makers, their information is about, okay, so this information was found and it ended up in the hands of the government, not too shocking. And a division of the government that was in control of it, they took people to this location and they dug for the rest of, there's like 30, I want to say 35 chambers. I want to say it was in Nevada. I'm not sure. They dug, they got information. There was art, there was music. There was a lot of information that needed to be disseminated. And so the man that was doing this, he found himself drawn to the information. He felt like the information was talking to him. And so they were not aware of this. And so because he kept it to himself. And so at some point he decided to share it with a reporter. And this is how we ended up with it on the internet, is someone posted it. And I think pretty quickly it was perverted into it was not left in its original form by the time it hit the internet. And now it's just a big mismatch of confusion. There's one website saying that it's all awesome and this is it. And there's another website saying, no, wait, this is it. And then, oh my God, please. So yeah, I believe we have to use our inner selves to decide what is and what isn't, and not count so much on other people. That's my advice. Now, like I said, Just because I was encouraged by some of the things I've read and heard doesn't mean that everyone will be. It can be hard to let go. I'm hearing noises again. It doesn't help that the dog is barking. So yeah, that was something that really, I don't know. For some reason, I'm thinking now of the false flags. There are a lot of people that believe some of the activity that is happening that is negative in the world, without being specific. That some of it is fake, but some of it is also real. And I find myself thinking that if we think everything is fake, we're going to be in a position to where we become numb to the things that are real. But what is real, right? You know, so that brings me to something else. I'm not one of those people that believes that what we see is all there is, obviously. We talked about that. But if we're in a holographic universe, it's so funny. Every time I say holographic universe, I can't remember exactly what that means. But what I can remember is that I kind of feel like the dream is more of an example of what we live than anything. So another thought that's flying through my mind is the brain. You know, recently there was some things that were going around about your brain and how it is a receiver of information and not a container of information. I find that quite interesting, actually. You know, all this thinking that we do, it doesn't do a lot of good sometimes. And another thought, and I know I'm like stringing them together, but I was sitting in the library one day and I looked and I just saw all these books. I mean, you know, it's a library. But consider the fact that every book is a story. Seriously, if every book is a story, a person had thoughts and created books. A person has a thought and creates a book. That book is a story. Whether it's considered reality or not, it is a story. All the billions and quadrillion stories in the world, they're all real because a person had them. A person had a novel in his brain from beginning to end. That is a story that happened. It might not have happened in the world of get out of your head and walk around and live your life, but it happened in his head, her head. You know, have you ever thought of that? All the stories in the world. Seriously, I think we think too much. Oh my gosh, stop thinking and start doing. That would be my, I don't know, my catchphrase. Stop thinking, start doing. Yes. So try not to think. I'm trying to do. So that's why I'm here talking to you. I would love to have some feedback. I know I ramble. It's okay. It really is. It's okay. What was the movie where the guy kept saying everything was okay? Oh, I think it was Ralph Smart. I like him. I like his encouraging videos. He says, he'll say such and such happened, but you know what? It's okay. I love that. Yeah. So I try not to think so much as just to do, you know, not the big to do, just to do. So anyway, let me think of another topic. Oh, I was going to give the examples of the reality. Keep in mind, I've already done this. I just have to remember what I said. Okay, so if you're thinking about an idea of what reality could be, I always go back to Eureka, the last season of Eureka, where they were kidnapped and they ended up, they were actually lying on stretchers somewhere, hooked up to machines or something. And everything that was happening, their traumatic lives, dramatic, the dramedy was happening in their head. And I always think that's probably what's going on with us. All this drama, it's okay. And then the other, one of the other options I was considering was Inception comes to mind first, which is, but that's more the dream thing. But the Truman Show, where like the whole world is created just for him, At least in Inception, though, when if you haven't seen Inception and if you're into dreams, you have to see Inception. Come on. In the movie where she is creating the path as she's going, and he's like, you got to stop, adding things that are in real life. But then she's saying, well, tell your projections not to attack me. And I was walking down the street the other day and I started thinking about projections. And I'm thinking, am I producing these people that are walking by? I know, it was funny. Too much television, too many movies. But I don't know. It's just not something to think about. Stop thinking, start doing, but just our lives are not what we think they are. And for a fact, I believe that. But they're also what we make them to be. My world is about imagination, about experimenting, about good energy, good vibrations, meeting people, talking to people, enjoying their company, and just being free. That's my reality. And I find that other people are interested in that too. So what I say to them is to just be and do you, whatever feels authentic to you. Whatever feels authentic to you. Don't think about it. Just be it. Exist and be. And I think that is the best way for me personally. I've had my time of not being. And so the now is the new me. Oh, I like that one too. So yeah, but I'm very interested in the fascination of this and that. But you have to watch that, because the more you believe in something, the more it's going to be real. And you don't have to be prepared, because you want to live in the moment. But just understand that what you be is what you will see, what you will do. It's putting your actions out there. So yeah. I love that movie. But then my favorite movie right now is Cloud Atlas. And even though I don't know, I run into things all over, usually on the internet, but there was this thing about reincarnation, and they said, what if it's not reincarnation? What if it's the stream of consciousness that makes us believe that we've been or seen or done things before? And I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. You see someone and they're like, they feel really familiar to you, but you don't remember ever meeting them before. Maybe it's the stream of consciousness. It's just that, it all kind of blends in. But in Cloud Atlas, I really enjoyed this movie. Every time I've seen it like 6 times, and every time I cry. It's just, oh my gosh, it's overwhelming. And if you haven't seen it, it's about like, I don't know if it's 6 or 8 people, but it's them in different personalities in different lives. And it actually starts at one of those movies that starts at what we would consider the end of the movie. And it's so funny. All the times I've seen it, oh, all the times I've seen it, viewed it, I don't know if I walk out of the room when I put the video in, but I don't really remember it being at the end when it starts. I don't know. It's weird. Every time I see something different, though. And then it just kind of does this winding path through various lives and situations that this person has existed. And it's so hard to describe, but I highly recommend it. You want to watch it at least a couple times to get an idea of why you might want to watch it a couple more times. And it was one of those movies that didn't do great in the theater. Shocking. Because I don't know, you go to a theater, you don't want to think too much. I don't know why. I enjoyed it the first time. I enjoyed it so much, I bought it before it was even out on video. I mean, you know, it happens, right? So yeah, Halle Berry is in it, Tom Hanks, Susan Sarandon. I think those are the only ones I really knew beforehand. One of the girls that's in it, the Korean girl, she's also in my favorite new TV show, Sense8. It's a Netflix original. If you have Netflix, go run and watch it. I've seen it like 3 times. I'm going to probably watch it 3 more because they're not doing season 2 until next year. What is going on? One of the cool things about this show is that it is filmed in the various countries of where the actors live, and I think that's some kind of commitment. You know, they filmed in Korea and they filmed in Iceland, you know, and there was like 7 countries in Germany, and the actors are just very, you know, really in it. They're very into it, and you can tell when the actors are really into what they're doing, like with Supernatural, you know, it's like very personable, and I enjoyed it. It's not for everyone. It can be very sensual, and there's a little violence, but it's balanced out by the theme of the show, which basically is we are one. It's the whole united thing. And I enjoy that. I know some people think, oh my God, no, New World Order, that's what they're promoting. Let's freak out. You know what? I don't know. All I know is that it's cool. I like the fact that, you know, I don't want to say too much in case you haven't seen it. If you're interested, but you don't want to watch it, you can message me and I'll tell you. But I don't want to run it for anyone else. It's by the Wachowski brothers. They did Matrix, and they did Cloud Atlas. Matrix, you know, everyone knows the first one was the best. Hey, it's just life. But yeah, so they did those, and they did Sense8, and now the Wachowski brothers are the Wachowski sisters. We won't discuss that. I think people should just do what they're going to do, and it's awesome, right? They're still doing great film and TV. That's the main thing. So, yeah, I like that movie, and I love that show. So they're okay with me. So let's see. We got TVs, movies, dreams, consciousness. What else haven't we covered? Oh, okay. So, you know, the whole consciousness thing. There's a guy here on YouTube that is doing videos now. I can never think of the name of the website, but his name is Dante Santori. He's very interesting. I feel like I'm totally missing what he's trying to do, which is, it kind of hurts because I want to understand what he's showing us. And I feel like there's a block between me and him. I don't know. You ever You ever want to be into something, but you can't quite get there? And you find like you have to push yourself to be in something that you think you naturally would enjoy? I don't know. But he has a bunch of videos. And the idea of the videos is that he's representing the beginning of time to the end of time. So like he's visually showing us things that are happening in the world or have happened, but he does it in a visual way. He uses like modern music and clips of different things. And I don't know why I'm not connecting with it. I mean, at first I thought it was just the music, because it's like sometimes he does like rap type music, and it's you know. But in one video, he wrote a message and he said, everything in my videos is significant. And I'm like, oh God, I gotta listen to the words and the music now. Oh my God, I'm never gonna get it. But I tried to do it on one of them, and I was like, oh crap, I have to start over now. So I haven't done that yet. I might go back to the beginning tonight and see what I can grab as far as information from him, because the one lady that was sharing his videos, there's a website called Starship Earth, which is a whole nother topic, right? Are we a starship? And she's really into it. And because she was so excited, I wanted to be excited. You know, that's how it all started. And so I tried. And so I don't know. I was actually doing another video one day, and I was talking about how sometimes I'll watch something, or I'll see a word or phrase, and it'll be like, oh, I've never heard that before, so I'll do an internet search, you know. And a lot of times I end up on a website called Assassin's Creed, which is a game site. And this character that someone is just like really sure is important to humanity ends up being a character from a game. Now, I want someone to comment about that, because it has got to be significant. I spent one of my videos searching Assassin's Creed, and then like all over the internet trying to figure out why I keep running back into this, you know. Yeah, I'll give you the link to that one too, because yeah, I don't want to go into it again. It was a little discouraging. So yeah, Dante, he seems, oh yes, you have to go there, and then I want you to tell me who he says he is, because I don't want to say it here. I want you to be surprised. Okay? Dante Centauri's YouTube. And I think he has more than one set of videos. So the one I'm referring to is something about the foreshadowing of the feather. I don't remember the first part of the name. Okay? So yeah, check that out. And I'm going to go ahead and end this here because I'm getting a little hoarse. But okay, so thank you, all you guys that are going to watch it on YouTube, and anyone who's interested in me doing this again. In the comments box, I want you to put your questions, and I will definitely, totally respond to them. I'll do another broadcast maybe next week. And so great. I'm just happy to have had a chance to share with you today. Have a great night.